$2.5 million hit, each missile, each bomb, a staggering investment in destruction. The cost of modern warfare is measured not just in lives, but in the billions spent on technology and firepower. Every strike is a calculated risk, a financial gamble with enormous stakes. In a single, decisive moment, a Ukrainian strike leveled a heavily fortified Russian bunker and obliterated a key missile defense installation, sending shockwaves through military circles. The night sky near Moscow erupted in a blinding flash as a series of explosions tore through a high-security Russian air defense site. The horizon glowed with fire, visible for miles, as the world watched in disbelief. This was no random attack. It was a meticulously planned Ukrainian strike, months in the making, bringing the war to the very doorstep of the Kremlin. Ukrainian commanders pored over maps, analyzing every possible route and weakness. The target, a sophisticated S-300 missile defense system, considered a vital shield for Moscow and a cornerstone of Russia's air defense network. Its destruction sent a chilling message across Russia: nowhere is truly safe, not even the most protected sites. For months, this site had stood as a symbol of Russian military might, a constant threat and a thorn in the side of Ukrainian planners, who knew a direct assault would be suicide. A direct assault was impossible, so Ukrainian commanders devised a plan that began with stealth, not force. Special forces moved under the cover of darkness, relying on secrecy and precision. The first phase: blind the enemy. Electronic warfare teams jammed communications and radar, rendering Russia's advanced technology useless in those critical moments. Russian state media scrambled to explain the disaster, but satellite images told the real story: twisted metal, a smoking crater, and the unmistakable aftermath of a devastating strike. The strike showcased Ukraine's rapidly evolving military capabilities, their growing arsenal, and their willingness to take the fight deep into Russian territory, far beyond the front lines. This event shattered the illusion of Russian invincibility, leaving soldiers and citizens alike in shock at the vulnerability exposed. Weeks of painstaking intelligence gathering mapped every detail of the site, from radar arrays to patrol schedules, ensuring no element was left to chance. The operation was a high-stakes gamble, a moment of intense suspense for Ukrainian commanders. But for Ukraine, it was a risk that had to be taken, a statement to the world. The goal was clear: not just to destroy hardware, but to break the myth of the Kremlin's untouchable power, to show that even the mightiest can fall. The psychological impact would ripple far beyond the battlefield, shaking confidence in Russian defenses and inspiring hope among Ukrainians and their allies. The world had witnessed a turning point, a strike at the very heart of power. The attack began in silence, under the cover of darkness, as Ukrainian forces moved with calculated precision. Every step was measured, every sound muffled, as if the night itself was holding its breath. The real battle, however, was unfolding deep within the electromagnetic spectrum, an invisible battlefield where signals, not bullets, would decide the fate of the night. Ukrainian electronic warfare teams sprang into action, jamming Russian communications and radar. Their sophisticated equipment blinded the S-300's powerful sensors, rendering the enemy's eyes and ears useless. On Russian screens, the sky became chaos. False signals, static, and confusion reigned. What once was a clear picture of the battlefield now dissolved into a storm of digital noise. Cut off from the outside world, the command bunker was isolated and unable to call for help. Their lines of communication, so vital in moments of crisis, had vanished in an instant. This technological deception created a brief but critical window of total confusion. In those precious moments, the defenders were left blind and deaf, unable to coordinate or respond. During this chaos, the main attack would strike with devastating precision, taking full advantage of the enemy's disarray. Modern war is fought with data and algorithms as much as with bombs and bullets. The digital realm is now as crucial as the physical battlefield, and those who master it hold the upper hand. Ukraine's tech ingenuity leveled the playing field, exposing vulnerabilities in Russia's defenses that brute force alone could never reveal. Their engineers and technicians became as vital as frontline soldiers. The Russian soldiers were caught off guard. Their systems failed, alarms blared, and panic set in. The sudden loss of control shattered their confidence and left them scrambling for answers. Trained for missiles and aircraft, they were helpless against an invisible enemy. The threat was everywhere and nowhere, impossible to target or defend against. The psychological shock was as devastating as the technical disruption. Fear and uncertainty spread through the ranks, eroding discipline and resolve. Chaos and fear spread rapidly, leaving the defenders exposed and vulnerable. In the fog of electronic war, even the most seasoned soldiers could lose their way. The electronic warfare gambit was a masterstroke, a blend of technology and strategy that set the stage for the next phase of the operation. Ukraine proved that technology, not just numbers or firepower, can decide the outcome of modern conflict. In this new era of warfare, innovation and adaptability are the ultimate weapons. With Russian radar blinded, the sky was open, an invisible corridor for attack. The darkness above the military installation was now a silent invitation for what was to come. Ukrainian forces seized the moment, launching Storm Shadow missiles, each a $2.5 million precision-guided weapon designed for stealth and accuracy. These missiles represent the cutting edge of Western military technology, combining range, power, and intelligence. Flying at treetop level, these missiles hugged the terrain, evading enemy radar and anti-aircraft defenses. Their advanced navigation systems ensured they stayed on course, undetected, as they closed in on their targets with deadly intent. The primary objectives were clear: the S-300 missile launchers and the main radar array, critical components of Russia's air defense network. Storm Shadow's Broach warheads, engineered to penetrate hardened structures, smashed through reinforced concrete before detonating inside, maximizing internal destruction and rendering bunkers useless. The aftermath was devastating. Massive fireballs erupted, twisted metal littered the ground, and the once formidable defense system was left in ruins. This was not random destruction. The strike was surgical. No indiscriminate bombing, just the precise elimination of high-value threats, minimizing collateral damage. Western-supplied weapons, with their advanced guidance and reliability, proved their worth on the battlefield, shifting the balance of power. Russian soldiers had no warning. The first sign of attack was the thunderous explosions themselves, catching them completely off guard. The ground trembled violently, smoke billowed into the night sky, and chaos erupted as debris and dust clouds engulfed the area. Anti-aircraft systems, still idle, were destroyed before they could even be brought to bear, leaving the site defenseless. The missile barrage was swift, relentless, and brutal, neutralizing the site's defenses in a matter of minutes, leaving no time for response. With the defenses shattered, the path was now clear for Ukrainian ground forces to advance, pushing through the breached perimeter. Ukraine's precision warfare, powered by modern technology and strategic planning, had changed the game, demonstrating a new era of battlefield dominance. As smoke billowed, Ukraine unleashed a swarm of small, explosive-laden FPV drones. Piloted in real time, these drones targeted machine gun nests, guard towers, and any organized resistance. They provided live intelligence and sowed panic among Russian defenders. The buzzing drones hunted down pockets of resistance, even inside buildings and trenches. This innovative tactic was a hallmark of Ukraine's modern approach. Next, Ukrainian tanks and armored vehicles breached the base, guided by drone intel. Tanks provided overwhelming firepower, eliminating remaining threats and covering advancing infantry. The synergy between drones and armor was seamless. Threats were identified and destroyed instantly. This combination allowed for precision, efficiency, and minimal Ukrainian casualties. The ground assault was a choreographed dance of technology and steel. Ukraine's tactics left the defenders with nowhere to hide. The most critical task fell to Ukraine's elite special forces: neutralize the underground command bunker. The bunker, designed to withstand bombs, housed senior Russian officers. Storm Shadow missiles had damaged the surface, but the bunker remained. Moving through chaos, the team reached the reinforced entrance undetected. Explosives breached the door. Flashbangs disoriented the occupants. The firefight was brief. Ukrainian training and discipline prevailed. High-ranking officers were captured, along with valuable intelligence. Demolition charges ensured the bunker could never be used again. The mission was a complete success, sealing the fate of the S-300 site. Ukraine's special forces proved their skill and courage deep behind enemy lines. News of the attack sent shockwaves through Russian command. The Kremlin ordered a rapid counterattack to retake the base and save face. Russian tanks and APCs raced to the scene, aiming to encircle Ukrainian forces. But Ukraine had anticipated this, preparing layered defenses and a tactical withdrawal. Mines, ambushes, and artillery awaited the Russian column. The Russians, rushing without proper reconnaissance, drove straight into Ukrainian traps. Anti-tank missiles and artillery decimated the advance, halting it in its tracks. The counterattack turned into a disaster. Russian forces retreated in disarray. Ukraine's defensive skill compounded Russia's humiliation. The failed counterstrike confirmed Ukraine's tactical superiority. Amid the chaos, Ukrainian medics found wounded Russian soldiers. Despite being deep in enemy territory, they provided immediate medical aid. This act of humanity stood in stark contrast to the brutality of battle. Ukrainian professionalism and adherence to the laws of war sent a powerful message. Treating prisoners well undermined Russian propaganda and encouraged surrender. Images of Ukrainian medics caring for the wounded bolstered Ukraine's moral standing. Captured Russians, including officers, became valuable assets for future exchanges. Ukraine's strength was not just military, but moral. The destruction of the S-300 site near Moscow shattered Russia's sense of security. The Kremlin's narrative of an impenetrable shield was destroyed overnight. Satellite images and social media spread the truth, fueling anxiety and criticism. The attack exposed vulnerabilities and undermined public confidence in the military. The psychological blow was greater than the material loss. Russia was forced to divert resources to defend its own cities, weakening its front lines. The strike embarrassed the Kremlin and weakened Putin's image as a strong leader. Ukraine proved it could bring the war home to Russia. The world saw that courage and strategy could challenge a superpower. The strike on Moscow's S-300 will be studied for years. It was a masterclass in modern, combined arms warfare, electronic attacks, precision missiles, drones, and special forces. Ukraine's operation showed that innovation and coordination can defeat a larger foe. The event forced Russia to rethink its air defense strategy and stretch its resources. Ukraine's agility and creativity exploited Russian weaknesses. The S-300 strike was a clear example of asymmetric advantage. For Ukraine and its allies, it proved that high-tech weapons and training pay off. The operation boosted Ukrainian morale and dealt a blow to Russian prestige. It sent a message: aggression has consequences, even at home. In the 21st century, courage and intelligence are the most powerful weapons.